back here. See, when I first started AirTV, I was 20 years old. Now I'm nearly 30. Absolutely unbelievable. Can you believe it? Like 30 years old. Yeah. So when I was at AirTV, I was in the committee for 2 years, I think. Made loads and loads and loads of films. Some of them I think are funny, some of them are a load of shit, honestly. But I wanted to talk today because like I felt like I had quite a good linear path from AirTV into what I now do professionally. And I thought it might be quite good to hear. So, as I say, I'm a researcher, contributor to BBC The Social. Oh, also, by the way, I forgot to say this, but I didn't know the event was today. So, I was working today and I got a message from the Twitter account, like, y'all ready for tonight? I was like, no. So, I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. So if I'm talking for too long, just tell me. Anyway, so after I graduated, so that would have been about 5 or 6 years ago. So I was quite lucky after I graduated that our dissertation at the time got commissioned by BBC Scotland to get turned into a TV pilot, which I know some other people here have done. I just Kirsty, because I've watched them. I know you've done these things. And we done that. After we made The Bad Guy, I wanted to go on and do my own thing. And BBC The Social kind of seemed to be the perfect thing for me because I loved making the sort of rubbish short films. I mean, some people might have some ideas about BBC The Social, about types of videos they make, the quality of them. Everybody know what BBC Social is, by the way. Kind of, yeah. Anyway, so I got into that, and I started off, my first video was called The Guide to Dundee. And I based, because I'm from Dundee, and I based this video based literally on the character that I made from my last ever AirTV film because I had like no ideas. I had no idea what I was going to do when they asked me for my first video. So Big D was my final ATVA. I won the Audience Choice Award for that video. It's a classic. And from that, like, I just got to make tons and tons and tons of videos from BBC The Social. And genuinely, like, as much as AirTV changed my life, BBC The Social changed my life in the same way. And it was quite a sort of logical or good step from there onto that. And after I was a contributor for 2 years, I then got asked to join the team as a researcher. So I started off, I was only there for 3 months, and then I got to stay longer and longer and longer. So I've been working for like a whole year now. And I even emailed Kirsty one time. Didn't quite work out, but I recognise it. I recognise Alec as well. I recognise all these people. So I've been doing that for a year, and it's been great. Let me just check my notes, because I feel like I'm forgetting something here. As I said, I really didn't prepare. I left the house at like 10 to 5 and got on the train at 5 past 5, so. Yeah, I just want to say as well, like, kind of what Martina and Rowan were saying. So when I first joined BBC The Social, genuinely, like, I thought I was like shit hot. And that's not a good thing to say. Like, I thought I knew everything about filming, editing, performing in front of camera, everything like that. And when I made my first couple of videos, it turned out really I didn't know anything at all, in compared to some people. And it's good, like, to think about it in that way, because BBC The Social, working in that sort of professional environment, really helped me learn like so many extra skills. And like, even now, like, if Alec could have remembered what I was like when I was in AirTV, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't do this. And I feel like I've just developed like so much more, and it's the sort of thing that anybody here could do. That's kind of what I was trying to get to the point of saying. BBC The Social is the sort of thing that I feel like anybody here could do. And it's really good, you get paid for it. You don't get paid a lot of money as a contributor, but you get paid more money than you would if you're making it for your own YouTube and things like that. So I would say, like, if you like making like silly short films and things like that, as Martina and Rowan were saying, BBC The Social, that sort of thing is a sort of good way to get into that and get actual good media experience, because from that I was able to get TV credit as a camera operator on a TV show. I even had one of my sketches broadcast on live TV, which is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever had to sit through in my life. Like, everyone's like, oh, show your granda, show your granda. I put it on his house and he's completely stone-faced, not a single laugh at it. Honestly, awful. So that's what I've been doing for these last 5 or 6 years, not 5 or 6 years, 2 or 3 years. kind of lose my train of thought. But if I was going to give you like any advice from what I've experienced after joining BBC Social, it's just like practice, like as much as you can, because it really helps, especially if you want to be like an editor and things like that. Like editing is the sort of thing that's actually as much of like a physical trade, you know what I mean? Is like an actual thing, and it's the sort of thing that if you put the time into it, you're going to get so much out of it. Even if you don't have anything to edit, like if you go back, edit your old films, try adding something new, try something different, things like that. Like I still do that now. Like I've got films I made 5 or 6 years ago, I still have all the footage, and like I'll go through it, and it's like if you want to practice like color grading and all the things like that, I would say practice, because in AirTV you kind of got the freedom to do like whatever you want in a good way. I used to love that. I love like just going to make whatever you want, make it however you want. But it's different when you're working in the sort of professional thing. So if you are able to get your technical skills up to like a really good standard, once you graduate, you're going to be in a really good position. I wrote 2 other things down here, and I'll stop talking. Oh yeah, I want to say, like, don't ever come away thinking that your films are crap student films, or don't ever think that about your own films, because literally, like, I've made a career. I'll show you my bank account. like I started off with what I thought my films were rubbish, but well, no, I didn't actually. That's the opposite. That's not what I should say. I didn't think my films were rubbish, and I wanted to, like, I was always thinking, like, how can I make these AirTV films, and how can I do something extra with it? And BBC The Social kind of was. I got to make like 20 videos as a contributor, dozens more as a researcher, things like that. So don't ever put yourself down. You've got so much potential. Everyone in this room, genuinely, I would say you've got so much potential. And the last thing that I want to say, and this is kind of like, I can't give you homework, right? But for AirTV, I always think like social media is kind of the way forward. Like if I was going to give you any advice, like this is the sort of perfect platform if you're wanting to do the things that you do after, because you're already doing it, you know what I mean? You're already making these films. And you might not want to make BBC social type videos. Like I had to edit, oh my god, see, last month I had to edit these 2 videos. It was the BBC Social Beginner's Guide to Sex Toys, part 1 and 2, right? It's or something, and working wild. And there's 2 female researchers on the team, but I was the one that was given the sex toys videos. So you don't need to make videos like that, right? But societies like AirTV, that's the place where, like, we always keep our eyes on societies like this. If you're following along with me, like that's how, because I've seen Kirsten, the documentary you done that was on the iPlayer. I've seen these sort of things, and I do watch all the AirTV films because that's part of my thing to look for new contributors. Like, I know. But like, you just got to think, if you were to make sort of videos like this, or say your cooking videos, what do you call it now? Scran TV. It used to be stir fry when I was here. Fucking ages ago. but like, those sort of videos, they're the sort of things that would make like the perfect social media videos. So see if you've got short films that are maybe 2 or 3 minutes long, or you've got things like that, like just give it a try. Like you got nothing to lose, and you know what I mean, you've got the platform, you've got the clout, you've got the followers, you've got everything. You know what I mean? You could come across you could hit it with a viral video, you know what I mean? And people like me or other researchers might see it and might think, wow, that guy's pretty funny. Let's give it a shot. That's basically what happened with me, because the guy seen my your TV film, he seen Big D, and I said, oh sorry, that's my thing. That's my thing. So, I hope you've been able to follow everything I've been saying, but, you know, if you want to do these sort of things, just keep doing it. Just keep trying new things and try different things. And you never know who's going to watch it. So that's kind of all I was going to say. I'm sorry that was a bit of a ramble, but I didn't have the time to prepare it.